What if I told you that Stranger Things isn't really science fiction? That the experiments, the psychic children, the sensory deprivation tanks, and the secret government bases weren't just made up? What if I told you the real governments actually did experiments on children? Join us as we take a look into the reality of Stranger Things as we take a deep dive with the Veritas Project. Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast, the Project Investigation Collaboration brought to you by the Veritas Project. And as always, we are here with our gracious host and founder of the Veritas Project, Robert Wiki Bob Curtis.
Hello.
And I'm lead investigator Todd Boyer, and welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, welcome in.
Oh, wow. Did our last podcast sound fantastic with the new microphones?
Right.
I am so impressed with how well these things sound.
Yeah, they sound really good.
So
really good.
I am super happy with the way it sounded. I am off the side of the screen on TikTok. Oh well, it is what it is. We moved it down so we could see the comments a little better, but that is what it is. So we're actually making eye contact kind of with everybody.
Yeah.
But oh well, it is what it is. So, man, did I do a thing today?
Yeah.
I bought my TV was old as heck. Now let me tell you how old my TV is. My TV is a first generation 4K television, 48 inches that I paid like maybe $500 for on a Black Friday like 7 years ago. So today I purchased a 4K QLED 65-inch television.
Nice.
And then some of you guys know the story of how I broke my monitor that I bought. I had it like 2 whole months, and I tipped it forward and broke it. So I replaced my monitor, and it was half the price that I paid for it last year. Because right now, January, if you're looking to buy electronics, January is the time to buy electronics because they're on sale. So
yeah,
I replaced my stuff.
Yeah, that's good. I need a new TV.
Hey, I would go get one right now. You can get a fantastic deal on a TV. The 65-incher was $358.
Nice.
That's a massive. When I got home and looked at it compared to my other TV is a 48-inch television. So my new TV, I was like, holy crap, that's big. So I didn't realize how big of a TV I actually purchased, but it is massive.
Right. We have a 65.
Yeah.
But it's a Sharp, and the LEDs along the bottom of the screen are slowly burning out over time.
Gotcha.
So there's like one that flickers right now, and then there's a big pyramid of LEDs that don't work at all.
Oh, right now is the best time to go grab
junk.
one. So, how's the house coming along?
Good. I had for some reason the toilet tank has a big crack in it.
Oh man,
and flooded the bathroom. So
wonder if it was a freeze issue. Do you think it got so cold it froze over there?
I don't know. I was just in there on Wednesday and I didn't notice it, but then I went yesterday and the whole bathroom's flooded.
Oh man, just more problems on more problems, right? Like the Tom Hanks money pit,
right?
It's
just always something.
Just one thing after another. There's going to be some mic noise right there. So one thing after another. I'm trying to lean in a little bit for the TikTok because I'm off the side. Bob's barely in, and I wasn't in. So we are gonna press some hot buttons today.
Yeah.
Because Bob was just showing me that on Instagram they pressed some buttons for some people about the new season of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Which go back and watch that podcast. Bob and Angie review it.
Yeah.
And Bob has a controversial take on it.
Yeah. Yeah, people didn't. Well, I'm going to say that people didn't like it because it's 50-50.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that agree with me, and then there's a lot of people that want to burn the house down.
Right. I mean, to put it bluntly, really.
Yeah. So it is what it is. The Stranger Things has been around for 10 years.
I can't believe it's been that long.
And they wait 2.5 years or so in between episodes.
And that's how you lose me.
Yeah.
If I got to wait 2 years to watch another season, I'm gone. I'm done.
Well, the main issue that I have with it anyway is that they keep telling you that these are children,
Right.
right? And they're like, we're high school kids. Like,
No, you're not. You're 20-something.
bro, you're in your late 20s, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for most of this last season, they like de-aged the kids, you know, and like got rid of some of their
Well, they
laugh
had
lines
to.
and stuff to make them look younger. And they're like Finn Wolfhard, the main character of the show, and come fight me if you don't believe that, but he is now like 6 foot tall.
Right.
And when the show started, he was like 4 foot tall.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot of times they have to do like that Harry Potter like forced perspective thing.
Yeah.
Where so that he looks smaller than he really is. But then there's a lot of scenes like where he's with Joyce Byers and, you know, I forget the actress. Winona Ryder is a short person.
Yeah, she
right?
is.
So he towers over her. And you're like, they were like, she was taller than him in the first season.
Right.
And this is, by canon, this is only 3 years difference.
Right.
So, you know, this dude grew like 2.5 feet a year. He's like a redwood of a child. So, you know, that's neither here nor there. But that's one of my biggest pet peeves about it, is they took so long in between the seasons to make the next season. And then what did we get for that? They didn't go any deeper.
Right.
You know, it's not like the story got better. It just took longer to make. And they took more money and stuffed it in their pockets.
So that brings us to today's topic.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the experimentation that our government did during the, you know, for most of it, it's like 50s, 60s, 70s
Right.
era stuff. But it goes right along the same road as Stranger Things.
Yeah, these are the actual science that inspired the Stranger Things. That's what we want to do. We're going to talk to you about the different government projects and different things that the government was into that then the Duffer Brothers turned into the story that became Stranger Things.
Okay, so we're going to start. Normally it gives us, 1 through 15 as we give it 15 hot points. This time, we normally go 1 through 15. I think this time we're going to go 15 to 1 because number 1 is the biggest one.
Right, right.
So I think we're going to start with the most far-fetched or the furthest fringe
Right.
and get closer to the bullseye.
There you go.
So portals, rifts, and thin places.
Right.
Ancient cultures believe that some locations were thin.
Yeah.
And we always talk about the veil
Yeah.
between the worlds being thinner on certain nights,
Right.
and in certain places,
Ley
and
lines,
things like
and
that.
conjunctions, and things like Stonehenge and different
Stonewalker
places.
Ranch
Right.
and different places like that, where it's believed that a thinner place, and because of the experimentation they did in the show, they turned Hawkins into a place where the veil is thinner.
Right, right. And they had a portal.
Yep.
And that's
had a
one of
full
the things
portal
that in the later seasons, the Demogorgons can actually open. They can rip open the portals and come into our world. So that was kind of a thing.
So hive mind entities. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of paranormal encounters that describe different ghosts or whatever that have kind of a hive mind type of thing.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
we've seen
ants and other things they say have a collective consciousness. So that's how they know when they find something, they emit pheromones, and then everybody in the hive can read that all at once.
Right.
And they know. And that's a thing that happens in Stranger Things, is that everybody that's attached through the Mind Flayer, even including Vecna,
right.
are all connected together, so they can see each other's thoughts, and depending on how strong their connection is, they can actually influence the other person's thoughts and physically hurt that person through their mind.
And the hive mind is a thing that they send out there a lot in sci-fi and all that, like the Borg and the hive mind philosophy. And if also if you go into biblical terms, Legion.
Right.
Which is a group of
demons
that have a hive mind.
Right.
They're all linked together. So there are some good movies out there with Legion as the main bad guy as far as demons go.
That's the thing that we talk about a lot in demons, and people think that because they have like a demon attachment or something that they're going to move, out of
Right.
their house, and it's hard to explain to a person that there is no our world for demons. Like
Right.
if you're standing in my living room or you're in Antarctica, that's the same thing to a demon.
Right.
Right. So it doesn't matter where you go, like they're already there. It's like the Buckaroo Banzai. No matter where you go, there you are.
Right.
So, so that's kind of what they're talking about there. It's like they all experience the same thing at the same time. So it doesn't matter if you're on a distant planet X or if you're in Hawkins. It happens instantaneously.
Right. And something that we've talked about multitudes of times, Men in Black.
Yeah, yeah,
Basically, and then as far as Stranger Things, it was the government cleanup squads.
yeah. Right.
Where, from
Yeah.
what you guys have seen in the podcast previously, the Men in Black show up, you've seen something, the Men in Black show up, they cover everything up.
Right.
They try to find out what you saw, they erase your memory, that kind of thing. But in Stranger Things is the cleanup crew. They come in and make it look like it never happened.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. They assassinate people. They burn houses down. Whatever it takes to make the fringe, the obvious paranormal thing look like it was just an accident
Right.
or whatever ritual unaliving or whatever they say on the TikToks.
yeah, whatever.
Whatever word salad you can get away with this week.
So, electromagnetic disturbances and paranormal activity.
Yeah.
This was really big in the first episodes when they were communicating with Christmas lights.
Right. Right.
So being able to interrupt the magnetic fields and light up the lights and, that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, when Joyce was first trying to communicate with Will, and Will was in the Upside Down, because those parallel universes kind of overlap, he wherever he was at would give off an electric charge. So she just found out that if you string Christmas lights up everywhere, and you don't have to plug them in, wherever he goes, they'll light up.
right.
So she actually made a Ouija board on their living room wall with Christmas lights, and then he would just put his hands wherever he wanted to communicate, and then that message would be relayed to her in real time, and that's how she figured out he
Right.
was still around.
Yeah, but that's something that we've discussed in the What Are Ghosts podcast like a month ago.
Yeah.
And one of them was parallel universe entities.
Right.
That was one of the possibilities of what ghosts possibly are. So that plays into that.
Yeah.
And the Hawkins lab causes a massive EM disruption.
Right. Right.
So they cause a big
Oh, yeah, the
commotion, the
birds.
EMF with the birds and everything else.
Yeah.
So that plays into just the normal paranormal stuff.
Right. Lights flickering and that kind of stuff that we hear about all the time in hauntings.
So let's dip into some of the government projects, actually.
Yeah.
So the Gateway process, which is a CIA consciousness research, they talk about astral travel and out-of-body experiences. And this is similar to 11 being able to psychically travel.
Right. Right.
So, and this is something that the government's been doing for a long time.
Yeah. There's a lot of what I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but I was actually in the GATE program when I was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's trippy. I didn't know that's what it was until it started to come out recently.
Really?
That other kids on TikTok, or other, we're not kids
Adults,
anymore, but they were like, did you ever have to go to a special room in your school and put these headphones on and watch these slideshows? And I was like, yeah, I did that. And they were like, no, like everybody. I'd never even heard of that. And I was like, whoa, that's weird because I did that. And then the person messaged me, and they were like, what did you hear in the headphones? And I was like, it was like ocean sounds, like sea sounds. And then they would show you a picture, and then it played like weird tones, like tone from one side, tone from the other side, and it would say like, what's going on in this scene? And then you would say whatever it was, and that person would write down on their little notepad. Well, it turns out that was a secret government program
to see if you could astrally project and pick up what was there.
Right, remote viewing and all that. And I didn't even remember it until I saw that TikTok of that person talking about it. And I was like, oh man, I did that.
That's wild.
And they even called it, in my school, they called it the GATE program, the Gifted and Talented program.
And you know what's funny is I was in the gifted program when I was in school, but it wasn't like that. But we were We were taught German. We were taught how to code. We were taught all this different
we had
stuff.
computers
Like when I was in 5th grade, I was learning how to write code on an Apple IIe.
Yeah.
You know, I could go back. I could still write code on an Apple IIe right now if I wanted to. Like, I mean,
Right.
I was in 5th
Right.
grade learning how to
What
program
was that?
computers.
Go to 10
Uh-huh.
print
Yep,
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, no, you always start at 10 home.
10 home. That's what
So,
it is.
and
Yeah.
then you usually went, and then you'd have the go-to. And the funny thing is, you know, I went to school for computer programming.
Right.
Once I hit that epiphany moment with any other language where I can go, oh, this is that, that is this, and I relate it all back to basic code.
Right.
That's when I start writing like crazy. I have that epiphany moment where I could take this fits on this like this, and then I go, okay, and I just start writing crazy code.
Nice.
So I have to have that epiphany moment. But yeah, we have gifted, but it wasn't like that.
No, that's what it was in our school. Yeah.
That is wild.
It was a weird thing. So we had to wear like these. They had these headphones, and they were like plastic cans with like a metal thing on it, you know, and like one was blue and one was red, and you always had to make sure that you had them on the right side because it played different sounds, and that was like their whole thing was they were trying to send so many hertz to one lobe of your brain and then so many hertz to the other one, and then they would phase it in and out to try to tune your ability to recognize whatever the thing was.
That's wild.
And it was weird because like the picture they would show you, like I distinctly remember this one. It was like a graduation photo. It was like a kid graduating and his parents were all proud of him, you know, and the lady's like, tell me what you see in this picture, you know? And I was like, you know, the guy graduating and he wanted to get a car, you know, he's thinking about buying a new car because he wants to move away and go to college and all this stuff. And she's like, how'd you get that from that picture? And I was like, I don't know. That's just what I think of when I see it. And then when I saw on her clipboard, it had a picture of a car on it.
Oh, that's wild.
And I was like, huh. Well, that's weird. Like, did I know that, or did I? Like, why would you even? You know what I mean? Like, why would that even be a thing? But then it was a part of the thing. For real, it was.
That is wild. Yeah, that is wild. So, government black sites. Well, I mean, the Hawkins lab obviously was a black site.
Yeah.
We've talked multiple times about government black sites.
Yeah.
And how they're funded. I mean, does a hammer really cost $10,000? No.
Or the $20,000 toilet seat.
Right.
Yeah, every major city in this country has a government black site in it, and everybody always says, "Well, you don't know about that. I mean, they're only like in third world countries." Like, no, bro,
they're everywhere.
Every city has one. Every city.
And not
has
only that, like most of the big cities too have a bunker for the important people.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
well, they say that if you're anywhere you go in this country, except for like the out west, apparently,
right.
but you're only like 30 minutes away from a safe house. Anywhere you go in like St. Louis or New York or even Detroit or whatever, you're only 30 minutes away from a government safe house.
Wild. That is so wild. So trauma-induced psychic awakening. Now, that's a big part of this. 11's power grew with emotional distress.
Right.
And that is a big thing we see a lot of times people that are in car accidents, people with near-death experiences.
Right.
Or people that have actually crossed over and come back.
Yeah.
They're able to, you know, they're able to see things or hear things or catch glimpses of the future and that kind of stuff.
And 11 has her overseer, Papa, right, who psychologically manipulates her into increasing her powers, and then they try to see how far they can push that, you know, by having her bond with him, and then he intentionally pushes back on her, and then she's, you know, psychologically damaged because of it. So it's a big part of the Stranger Things universe, is
the trauma
and psychic ability.
So thought form and tulpas. Now this is something we always talk about. The pandas, tulpa. We're just saying we're just gonna throw that out there for the 8 billionth time. There's not a lot of, and the Mind Flayer fits this eerily well in the story. Right. And for you guys who haven't heard us say what a tulpa is, it's the belief in something by enough people and so hard believing in it that it becomes a reality.
Right. They will it into actually being a thing.
So, and this is a big Tibetan thing, you know, Tibetan mystics believe the mind can create beings. And We'll go down the rabbit hole. I'm just going to jump. I'm going to follow the panda down the rabbit hole. Bob and I have come to the conclusion, and Bob saw this about a month ago, that pandas are tulpa. There's no such thing as pandas. They were not in history until the mid 1800s, right? Like 1840 and they were discovered by Westerners, and they're not in any of the Chinese calendars or any of that kind of stuff.
There's
nothing about the pandas until like the 1840s.
There's no historic art anywhere in China that has a picture of a black and white panda bear.
Yep. Until the 1840s.
Yeah.
So we think it's a timeline jump where our timeline already believed in the pandas.
Yeah, panda bears existed
in our timeline. Right. And then we jumped over to this timeline.
This timeline that never had panda bears.
Yep. And then poof, there's pandas.
Now they exist because we brought them with us.
Interdimensional theory.
Right.
That's one that Bob and I have discussed on multitudes of occasions.
Oh, yeah.
The upside down being a parallel universe. And the thing that we talk about, too, is we believe that CERN actually destroyed our timeline in, 2012 when they fired it up the first time and discovered the God particle. And we have jumped timelines, and that explains a lot of, it could explain ghosts, demons, UFOs. But the biggest one for us is all these Mandela effects that are going on. Mm-hmm. They, in a different timeline, they were different.
Right.
That
was a real thing.
It was a real thing. And how many times I would die on that hill because I know as a kid it was this.
Right. Why would I say Berenstein Bears if it was Berenstain Bears?
Right.
Like I've read that book 1,000 times when I was a little kid, so I know it said Steen on it.
Yep.
Right. So I growing up, I never would have said Stein if it wasn't Stein. If it was Stain, then I would have said Stain.
And you know what's funny is I remember a Fruit of the Loom commercial where they were standing in a cornucopia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So to say there's no cornucopia in that, there absolutely was. So,
I remember Macy's parade float where they were in the cornucopia in their little suits out there. And
that's what I remember. I
remember thinking, like, man, it's way too cold to be wearing that grape suit out there. You know what I'm saying? This is the 80s. It wasn't like modern days where they hide heaters in the parade floats. Like, nah, bro, you were just out there freezing.
Right. So, shadow biospheres, the upside down concept itself.
Yeah.
Basically a reverse of our universe. And scientists have proposed that there are layered realities out there. Yeah. And so one of the big things that Bob and I actually talked about 6 months ago, these new supercomputer chips are solving equations that should take years and years and years to solve, but it's solving them in like minutes.
Right.
And the only explanation they have for these chips to be able to do what they do is that it is pulling data from multiple realities.
Right. From different iterations of that chip that exist in other dimensions. So, like, let's say in our dimension, that chip is sitting in Microsoft in a little cooler, right? Well, in the dimension adjacent to ours, that processor is also working on this same problem. So you have 300 of these processors chained together across dimensions.
Thousands,
and they're
millions.
All,
who knows how many dimensions there are.
Isn't that crazy? Like that, man, it just rips your mind wide open.
It really, and that literally, guys, go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
I encourage you to look that up. That is legitimately the only way that they can explain why this chip was able to solve that problem.
Right.
Literally, it's a problem that they test supercomputers on to see literally they measure it in years. How many years would it take for this supercomputer to solve this problem? And it solved it in minutes.
Right.
In minutes. So go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a good one for sure.
One of the biosphere theory is what we talk about for shadow people a lot of times, where we, as a 3D object, can only see 2D shadows.
Right.
So a shadow person could very well be the shadow of a 4D person, and then we can only see the 3D shadow of that person.
Right.
Or the 2D shadow in some places. So whenever that person realizes that we can see their shadow, then they turn on their 4D light or whatever, and then it just goes away.
Yep. That is such a wild ride. Sensory deprivation chambers.
Mm-hmm.
These have been used for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Eleven's Black Void is the perfect match for this. Basically, they put enough salt in water for you
Right.
to float,
Yeah,
right?
so you're
Effortlessly.
neutrally buoyant.
You're neutrally buoyant, and they cut all the light, they cut all the sound,
Yeah.
and the things people say they have heard and seen in these sensory deprivation tanks
Yeah.
would blow
yeah.
your mind. And they've been around a long time.
Yeah.
You know,
They have to keep the water at the same exact temperature as your skin,
As your body,
so that
yep.
way you don't notice
feel
that you're not in
nothing.
water. Right? You're just floating weightless in this container that's pitch black, and then your mind just kind of forgets about all of the sensory input that you have coming at you all the time, and then starts to focus on smaller things that you normally tune out. And then that's how people have seen Lovecraftian, elder
Beings,
gods
yeah.
and communicated with aliens and had complete psychic breaks in there.
So this one pops up on, like, this one opened up something that I'd seen recently. I know you've seen it too. Certain types of mushroom. People are taking a certain type of mushroom, and then when they shine a laser at the wall,
Oh yeah, they can see the code.
they can see the code
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the Matrix.
Right.
And everybody sees the same thing. It's not like
Yeah.
one person seeing this, one person seeing that.
Right.
They literally all see the same thing.
Yeah, that's the ayahuasca mushroom. They I don't know if can you say that on TikTok?
Who knows? Who knows?
But yeah,
So,
they take the magic mushroom and then they look at one of those red laser level things, and because a laser is a focus of photons in one direction, so what they think is that because the way that your observation or whatever, the way the matrix is rendered, it can't render through a concentrated beam of photons. So when the photons hit that perfect line, you can actually see into the code that's writing the wall that is there.
Yep.
So just like the Matrix, when you see all the little green things going up and down, that's exactly what this is a representation of.
Yep. They actually see it
Yeah.
through the laser, and they'll like lean in and look up
like
and be able to look
through.
down.
Yeah.
And they from different angles,
Right.
they can see through it.
They can
so
see
it is
like into the Matrix.
Yeah, it is absolutely a
It's
wild
crazy.
situation.
You can
So,
check out YouTube about it. There's a fantastic video where the guy's like, I used to do these trips all the time, and then I started bringing other people in, and he wouldn't tell them what is in there, and they would all look through the crack and see the same thing.
Yep. Shows you, man. We don't know what the heck is going on, what we really do. So, psychic children and ESP research. Now, in the 60s and 70s, there was a boom in the psychic children testing, which Bob was
Yeah,
part of.
I took part in.
So, kids to be believed to be more, physically open than adults. And a lot of that has to do with, number one, adults tell children things aren't real,
Right.
right?
Tell them to ignore it.
Tell them to ignore it. Not to mention the fact back when we were kids, they used to put fluoride in everything.
Yeah, we talk about
and
that.
now we know that fluoride is a forever chemical, and it gunks up our pineal gland,
Right.
which the pineal gland is the third eye, which is believed to be able to pick up all this other stuff. So,
Yeah, that's a big deal because I remember when I was in school, they would give you the little pink cup that was nothing
you
but
swash
fluoride.
it, yep, you
it was
swish it
straight
around, spit
fluoride.
it out,
Just-
yep.
yeah.
ridiculous. And I've gone to dentists, and they're like, "Oh, you've got fluoride staining," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we used to do that fluoride as a kid." They're like, "Oh no, that's from high fluoride in your water."
Yeah.
So it was so bad that like my teeth have fluoride built into them.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun stuff they used to
Crazy.
do to us back in the day. So remote viewing projects, and this is one that we've covered several times.
Yes.
Project Stargate.
Yeah.
They
did a whole
still
episode.
use Project Stargate currently.
Yeah. We did a whole episode on it.
Currently, they still do remote viewing. These people are able to read documents in briefcases in other countries.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah,
what
that's
they
a
can do.
that's a crazy rabbit hole you should go down because there's dudes that talk about how just as a test, a general on some base somewhere in the world would write numbers down on a piece of paper, fold it up, put it in an envelope, lock it in a drawer, and then come out and tell the guy the coordinates of it, and then he would relay that to the person, the remote viewer. Then the remote viewer would tell him exactly what was written on that piece of paper.
Right. And then if you want to kind of go down the rabbit hole as far as movies, Men Who Stare at Goats.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a parody of it, but
Yeah.
it honestly, it shows the reality of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of the craziness, because they would give them, psychedelics and have them do the remote viewing, and the psychedelics were said to unlock the mind.
Oh, yeah.
So you could see
And
that
then,
kind of
as
stuff.
far as movies go, there's Dreamscape. You got Firestarter. All of these movies all fall into the same umbrella of the government. The government has programs that they use to make psychics do things that they don't like. What was that one where the guy, his head explodes? Scanners.
Yeah, scanners.
Scanners.
Oh, there's quite a few out there.
Yeah.
You can go down those rabbit holes. So the MKUltra project.
Yeah.
Now that was a government mind control experiment, and the CIA did program testing with LSD, hypnosis, sensory deprivation. You want to talk about doing tests on people's brains? Yeah. I mean, you name it, they did it to people. Just the amount of stuff that they did to people.
Sleep deprivation, like sensory deprivation. They would leave people in those floaty tanks for entire days.
And some people didn't even know they were being tested on. They'd put it in the water.
Oh, yeah.
And people wouldn't even know. So they would try to break people's personalities.
Oh, yeah.
A good example of this would be Jason Bourne.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, right. And what's the movie with, the movie where, I can't even think of his doggone name, the Mel Gibson movie, where he talks about brain gravy.
Yeah.
What movie is it?
It's called Conspiracy Theory.
Is it Conspiracy Theory? I mean, that's a good example of it there.
Yeah.
So
that movie is excellent because the setup of that movie is that he's a crazy person. Mm-hmm. He has all of these tics and he's very paranoid. And then through the course of the movie, then you're kind of revealed that he's not really crazy. He doesn't have all these. He's paranoid. They're actually trying to get him. And that was a really good movie. I like that.
So there is a lot of files that were destroyed. There's a lot of classified stuff still out there for the MKUltra project. Yeah. I mean, there's even been situations said where certain things happening to certain government buildings were to destroy MKUltra files.
Well, I know to this day, if you try to do a FOIA request on any of the Magic 12 or MKUltra documents, you'll get nothing back.
You will get stonewalled.
If they do send you something, it'll be the entire document redacted.
So, number one, the biggest government tie-in to Stranger Things is actually the Montauk Project.
Yeah.
And this was the biggest influence. And actually, the Duffer Brothers originally pitched the show name as Montauk.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we can't do
too
this.
On the nose.
There's two on the nose. Yeah, we can't.
The government ain't going to fall
Government
for that.
ain't going to like that. No, thank you. So the Montauk Project was alleged a secret government experiment on psychic children.
Yeah.
And it was said to be an offshoot of the Philadelphia experiment.
Right.
And that involved time manipulation, portals, mind control. They reported of monsters that were basically tulpas that were brought into existence because of this project.
Right.
And this is the biggest influence of, Stranger Things of the Duffer Brothers was the Montauk Project.
Yeah. And that is an even crazier story. If you want to do some research on something that's absolutely insane, look up the Montauk Project and all the shenanigans they got into. It's crazy, and there are a lot of documents that have leaked over the years because people had memory regression, and they came out and said, okay, well, I saw this and this and this, and then that corroborates this kid's story. Right. So then it kind of makes, where what one person is an extravagant story, but when you have two people that can corroborate that story, then you're kind of like, even though it's crazy, it must have really happened.
Right.
Especially when you've got 8, 10 children that all tell the same story.
Yep. So there you go, guys. The
Yeah.
tie-in of the actual government and Stranger Things. So they tie in very closely.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd go down that rabbit hole since Stranger Things is such a
Yeah,
big
such a hot
thing right
button
now.
thing right now. So
And
we thought strike while the iron's hot and talk
Right.
about some of the stuff that it's been on the back burner for a while, but I thought now is a good time to.
yep, since they closed, they wrapped everything up.
Yeah.
So don't forget, guys, if you want to follow Bob on Facebook, it's the Veritas Project, the group there on Facebook.
Yeah.
RS Curtis on 73 on Insta.
Yeah.
Is it? And you're doing fantastic on
Yeah.
Insta.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
growing.
It's
Growing
a
on
battle
the
over there right
Instagram.
now.
Yeah, it's a battle over the Stranger Things over there. You know, if you want to become a member of the Patreon,
Yeah.
you know, the 0 level will get you on the back card in the credits. You'll
Yeah.
be immortalized forever. And if you become a $5 member, then you get a postcard that Bob and I sign and Angie designs and
Yeah.
writes you a nice, lovely little note, because if you try to read our handwriting, you wouldn't be able to read it.
Right.
We might as well be doctors. I
Yeah.
mean, just saying. Also, if you want to catch some merch, go to Printify.
Yeah.
Pick up some
Printify.
merch. We have some good
There's
merch
some really
out there.
cool merch on there.
So, and then whatever the postcard is for the month, you can get that T-shirt
Yeah.
for the month. So that stays up there, and you can get that. Am I missing anything? I think that covers everything.
Did you talk about the Dubby?
Oh yeah, don't
Dubby
forget
energy.
Dubby, and Bob will put that right here. And use keyword whole truth, all one word,
Yeah.
to get 10% off a Dubby, and that is good
Good
stuff.
stuff. Man, I
It is
drink
good
it every
stuff.
day now. I've got
Robin gave me some of the tiger's blood.
Oh, okay.
So that's good stuff. And she also gave me some creatine that's like a cherry lemonade. So I've been mixing the Dubby with the cherry lemonade creatine and just doubling the water amount
Nice.
so it's not overpowering.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's real good.
Huh.
It's real good. But yeah, if you like the coconutty, it's actually really, really nice. Good flavor. Dubby's better than a lot of that trash out
Yeah.
there. So, if you're on the YouTubes, you know, like, comment, share,
Yeah,
ring the
that
notification bell, subscribe, you know, that whole thing. We'll always take more subscribers.
Yeah, we appreciate your support.
We really do. You know, someday we'll be famous and you'll be able to go, oh, I knew those guys.
Yeah, I started watching them back in the
Back
old,
in the day. I've
in the
seen them all
old
their
days.
podcasts. You really got to be old school to see all our podcasts. I think Angie, Bob, and I are the only ones that have seen all our podcasts.
Yeah.
Because we go way, way back. Obviously, we're the starters. So, hey, that's why.
Yeah.
TikTok, if you guys are watching on TikTok, if you're new coming in, follow Bob and follow me down here. We do put out different stuff sometimes. You know, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate all the support that you guys give us. And, you know, we're working on trying to find us another investigation so we can go out and do another live investigation.
Yeah.
I'll get hot and heavy. Since it warms up,
Yeah.
it's a little rough to do investigations when it's cold out because
Right.
sometimes we go into these buildings and are abandoned. It's like literally
cold.
freezing in the building. So when it warms up a little bit, we'll get a little hot and heavy on trying to find another investigation. So, you know, thanks again, guys, for joining us on the Stranger Things podcast deep dive. Mm-hmm. And we appreciate every one of you. And remember,
Stay curious.
and find the truth, and we'll catch you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
See ya.